So with the stencil, with printing, you guys, I have 5 stencils that I'm currently using to make one image right now. So these are unrelated. Actually, maybe it's closer to 6. But the first thing I have to do is if I have a stencil with multiple colors, I gotta lay one color down at a time and let it dry. So this is my Tom Nook head. I have my sponge on a clip. I've got my cardboard for blotting. I've got my paper. This is just copy paper. If you want thicker white paper, let me know, I can get it to you. But I have a little bit of paint on the corner. You're gonna blot it off to the side. Just make sure your sponge is really full. And then you're going to just gently blot. Now you don't want to have a ton of paint on the sponge, because if you do, your paper is going to bleed. Your stencil is going to bleed. The paint's going to seep underneath your plastic. And it's going to make your print look really, really bad.
So that's why we're using a sponge and we can't use like a paintbrush?
Yeah, that's why you want to use a sponge and not a paintbrush. Just like that. And so what I like to do is I lift the stencil up, put this off to the side, and I just grab another one right away. And I would say do like 6 of the same one, because a lot of times, see even there, see how that messed up? The paint kind of smudged on it a little bit. I would definitely do, at least when you're trying to make your clean print happen, I would try to make sure that you have as many to work with as possible, because you never know if something's gonna get messed up. I like to do the edges first just to get that out of the way. If your stencil has a lot of really delicate areas, you're gonna have to go a lot slower. Some people chose like really delicate, intricate designs, and that's gonna make it so that you really have to take your time and be thoughtful about this. Okay, so there's a second one. Now let's pretend that I did like 6 of these. Okay, this one wouldn't be a print that I would keep unless I chopped it down because I got paint there. Put this off to the side. Let's say I did a whole bunch of these, right? And now they're dry. What I'm going to do is now do my second color. So I'll put another color here. In between, I probably would have washed my sponge and all of that stuff. But now I'm going to set my second stencil down. Grab a little bit of my second color. Now this paper that I'm using, this is that fuzzy paper, and it really absorbs the paint. So you may have to use a little bit more. But this is how you can layer stencils on top of each other to make a cooler image. So if you're somebody who's like, man, I don't want to do something that's one color, this is a choice for you. And there you go. So next I would probably wait for this to dry. I have stencils for the inside of the ears. I have stencils for the eyeballs, the white part, the pupils, the blue part, and the eyelids, which is this tan color again. So yeah, so that's how you do that. Okay, you're gonna just wanna take this and clean it off the best you can, or you can just let the paint dry on top of it, but that might wreck your stencil over time. Okay, hang on. Clean this off. If you're in the classroom and you have one of these, you can ask me where to put it and I will show you. And then with this, with the sponge, you do want to make sure that you take this and you run it under water until it runs clear. I don't necessarily think you need to do much more than that. You don't really need to use soap, but if there's a stain on the sponge, it's not a big deal. Just make sure that there's no wet paint still inside of this, okay? And that's it. That's how you print. You need to do one creative print and one clean print. Well, you need to turn one of each in, but I highly recommend, just like with photography, do more prints than you need, because some of them are going to get messed up, and that's okay.